The wisdom in the waters. Haiku. Moonlight on the stream. Fisherman casts wisdom's net. Science sails anew. Kanji translation. Ideographic period. Explanation of each line. 1. Moonlight on the stream. This line sets the scene and evokes a river's calm and natural beauty at night. The moonlight symbolizes clarity and insight. 2. Fisherman casts wisdom's net. Here, the fisherman is introduced as a figure imparting wisdom. The metaphor of casting a net suggests that wisdom can be gained from the world around us if we are attentive and open. 3. Science sails anew. The final line encapsulates the transformative experience of the scientist. Now enlightened, they set forth on a new course symbolized by sailing. General explanation. This haiku encapsulates the transformative journey of a scientist who encounters a Zen fisherman while in a tranquil natural setting. The meeting serves as a turning point, leading to the unification of scientific exploration and spiritual wisdom. The haiku adheres to traditional form and embraces Zen elements, capturing a brief and universally profound moment. The river's wisdom. Dr. Evelyn Harris stared at the luminous screen before her, her eyes tracing the jagged lines of her latest datograph. Her hands rested lifelessly on her lap, far from the keyboard they had pecked at for months. The room was quiet except for her powerful, multi-core workstation humming. In a sterilized lab full of endless possibilities, she only felt emptiness. It was supposed to be a momentous occasion. The data on the screen confirmed it. She was on the verge of a breakthrough in quantum computing that could redefine humanity's relationship with technology. A paper like this could secure her tenure, garner international acclaim, and win her a Nobel Prize. But something was missing. Days later, with the lab and its ceaseless demands far behind her, Evelyn found herself driving toward an escape she had long fantasized about but never taken, a secluded river known for its tranquility. An old canoe mounted on her car's roof had gathered years of dust in her garage but was now the vessel of her soul-searching journey. She needed to breathe, think, and drown the growing disenchantment that clouded her life. As she reached the riverbank, Evelyn felt like she had entered another realm. The lush greenery and the tender ripples of the water engulfed her. For the first time in years, she felt a sense of peace envelop her. Evelyn was settling into the paddling rhythm when she noticed a figure sitting near the bank. A solitary fisherman, his posture exemplified a deep sense of calm. Intrigued and in no rush, she steered her canoe toward him. "Mind if I join you?" she called out. The fisherman looked up and gave her a gentle nod. "The river is for all to share," he replied, his voice carrying a soft, meditative quality. As Evelyn docked her canoe beside him, she noticed his fishing gear was rudimentary but seemed purposeful. He introduced himself as Hiroshi, and they began to talk. As he spoke of his philosophy on fishing, which he viewed as a mirror to life itself, Evelyn immersed herself in his wisdom. "Each fish I catch or release offers me a lesson. Sometimes, it's about patience. At other times, it's about letting go," Hiroshi said as he cast his line with a delicate precision that seemed like a meditation. Evelyn found herself captivated, her previous notions of success and fulfillment questioning themselves in the simplicity and beauty of Hiroshi's words. Hiroshi had a small, rustic cooler by his side. He opened it and offered Evelyn a cup of herbal tea. As they sipped the warm beverage, Hiroshi hooked something on his line. He reeled it in with a smooth yet forceful motion, revealing a moderately sized fish, its scales shimmering in the sunlight. "Ah, a beautiful creature," Hiroshi admired. "But not what I am seeking today." He carefully removed the hook and placed the fish back into the water. The fish paused momentarily as if acknowledging its captor before swimming away. Evelyn watched in awe. "You caught it, but you let it go. Why?" Hiroshi looked at her, a subtle smile crossing his lips. "Because not every achievement we grasp is the success we need." Time seemed to dilate on the river, the sun slowly lowering behind the hills. Evelyn felt her body relax. The tension knotted in her muscles for so long was beginning to unravel. "Do you ever wonder about your choices, Hiroshi?" Evelyn finally asked, her voice tinged with vulnerability. Hiroshi took a moment before answering. "Choices are like river currents. They take us to new places, some we anticipate, others unexpected. The beauty is that we can always navigate towards new waters. For Evelyn, the river became a mirror reflecting her life at her. Academic goals, career milestones, and societal expectations drive life. Yet, she had ignored the tranquility of simply being, something Hiroshi seemed to understand profoundly. As dusk settled in, it was time to part ways. Hiroshi handed Evelyn a small, intricately folded paper fish. This is an origami koi symbolizing resilience and good fortune. May it guide you in the currents of life. Driving back, the paper koi rested on her dashboard, a tangible piece of the intangible wisdom she had gained. Evelyn felt a renewed sense of clarity. Her scientific pursuits had merit, but there was another layer of existence she had been ignoring. Upon her return, Evelyn found her lab not as a sanctuary of intellect but a facet of her multidimensional life. She published her paper but also took up a new routine: weekend trips to different rivers, each journey punctuated by peace and philosophical ponderings. Evelyn found her breakthrough, not just in quantum computing but in the understanding of her existence. And it all began with the wisdom of a river and a Zen fisherman named Hiroshi. Evelyn was irrevocably drawn back to the river a week after encountering Hiroshi. This time, she carried her canoe and a copy of the Tao Te Ching, a foundational text of Eastern philosophy that Hiroshi had recommended. As she paddled, she opened the book to a random page. Doing nothing is better than being busy doing nothing. The words reverberated through her, and she realized she had spent so much time busying herself with the illusion of progress. Today, she would practice the Zen art of doing nothing, of just being. As she moved downstream, she discovered a secluded cove where Hiroshi carefully arranged stones on the riverbank. It was a miniature Zen garden, its intricate designs representing the ebb and flow of life. "Ah, Dr. Harris, welcome back. Would you like to try your hand at this?" Hiroshi invited, handing her a rake. She felt an overwhelming sense of peace as she raked the gravel, trying to form her patterns. The act was meditative, each stroke clearing away the clutter in her mind. You see, sometimes balance is achieved not by adding elements but by taking them away, by simplifying, Hiroshi noted, observing her creation. As the evening approached, Hiroshi prepared to light a small fire. He invited Evelyn to join him in a session of Zen meditation or zazen. They sat in silence, their eyes half open, focusing on their breath. Each inhalation clarified Evelyn, and each exhalation released more of her pent-up stress. After what seemed like both a moment and an eternity, Hiroshi softly tapped a bell to signal the end of the meditation. Evelyn opened her eyes fully, feeling as if a fog had lifted. Before they parted ways again, Hiroshi posed a Zen koan for Evelyn to ponder. What is the sound of the river flowing? Evelyn carried this question with her as she paddled back. The river's sound was both constant and ever-changing, an ungraspable pattern that, in its way, contained every element of her journey. Like her, it was complex yet simple, bustling yet tranquil. It was an ongoing, harmonious dance between two seemingly opposite states. And it was perfect, just as it was. Evelyn's next meeting with Hiroshi was unexpected. She was testing water samples from the river for a different research project when she found him tending to a bonsai tree on the bank. "A beautiful specimen," she commented, admiring the miniature tree. "A reflection of life itself," Hiroshi said. "It thrives not by intervention, but by letting it grow according to its inherent nature." The concept resonated with Evelyn as she thought about her research. Could we allow things to unfold naturally rather than forcing an outcome? The following week, Hiroshi introduced Evelyn to the concept of Indra's net, a metaphysical and philosophical concept used to demonstrate the interconnectedness of all things. As they threw fishing nets into the river, Hiroshi explained, "Every part of this net represents a part of the universe. Change one part, and you change the whole net." The concept was surprisingly congruent with theories in quantum mechanics, Evelyn's field of expertise. She started seeing her research differently, not just as isolated equations but as interconnected parts of a larger whole. On another visit, Hiroshi introduced Evelyn to the concept of wabi-sabi, a worldview centered on accepting transience and the beauty of natural imperfection. They spent the afternoon repairing a broken canoe paddle using a technique that made the cracks look like art. Perfection is an illusion. Wabi-sabi teaches us to find beauty in imperfection and profundity in simplicity, Hiroshi mused. Evelyn applied this new mindset to her ongoing research. She began to appreciate the flaws in her models not as mistakes but as avenues for further understanding and growth. Over time, the lessons from Hiroshi began to profoundly impact not just Evelyn's outlook but also her professional life. She started attending Zen retreats, reading Eastern philosophy, and introducing mindfulness techniques to her research team. Evelyn finally published her groundbreaking research paper, but the real breakthrough was her transformed state of being. In her acknowledgments, she wrote, "To Hiroshi, who taught me that science and Zen are just different tributaries of the same river." Her paper did more than advance the field of quantum mechanics. It became a catalyst for a new interdisciplinary approach that bridged science with spirituality, technology with philosophy, a truly harmonious blend of yin and yang. Years passed, and the river remained unchanged in its eternal flow, a constant thread in the tapestry of life. Evelyn had won accolades and awards for her revolutionary work but always returned to the river, her sanctuary of wisdom. On their final meeting, Hiroshi greeted her with a knowing smile. "It seems the student has become the master," he mused. "I've learned much but still know so little," Evelyn replied. "What's the last lesson you can teach me?" Hiroshi opened a small, ornate box to reveal a tiny glass vial containing river water. "This is a sample from our first meeting, the day your perspective began to change. Keep it as a reminder that the essence of life is not in grand achievements but in the journey itself." Evelyn accepted the vial with reverence. As they sat in silent meditation beside the river one final time, Hiroshi quietly passed away, his body becoming one with the earth just as the setting sun kissed the horizon. Evelyn stood at an international conference, the glass vial displayed prominently on the podium. Her speech was not just about quantum mechanics or scientific discoveries. It was about the harmony of science and spirituality, the balance between knowing and not knowing. As she concluded, she posed a Zen koan to her audience, many skeptical scientists. "What is the sound of the river flowing?" The room was steeped in thoughtful silence. And in that moment, Evelyn knew that Hiroshi's wisdom, the wisdom of the river, had found a new channel, flowing into the hearts and minds of people who would shape the future of humanity. Evelyn understood that the river's wisdom was not just in its water but in its flow, forever moving, forever changing, and eternally the same. It was a metaphor for life itself, a reminder that we find our most authentic selves in the dance of opposites in the meeting of science and Zen. The mesmerizing tapestry of Japanese culture in The River's Wisdom. The tale of Evelyn and Hiroshi in The River's Wisdom is a rich tapestry woven with elements of Japanese culture. The story serves as a narrative bridge connecting two worlds, Western scientific thought and Eastern philosophy. Below, I unraveled the intricate cultural nuances that make this story profoundly captivating. Zen philosophy. At the core of the tale is Zen Buddhism, a branch of Mahayana Buddhism that originated in China and found fertile ground in Japan. Zen emphasizes the value of meditation and intuition rather than ritual worship or study of scriptures. Hiroshi embodies this Zen philosophy, using the practice of fishing as a form of moving meditation. He introduces Evelyn to Zen koans, riddles without logical answers intended to provoke deep thought and enlightenment. Deeper dive. Zen is more than just a religious tradition, it is a way of approaching life. Hiroshi's simple yet profound wisdom is conveyed through actions more than words, embodying the Zen idea that enlightenment can't be explained but must be experienced. His use of fishing as a form of active meditation is reminiscent of kinhin, the practice of walking meditation in Zen. Symbolism. The river serves as a literal and metaphorical vehicle for the flow of wisdom from Hiroshi to Evelyn. In Zen, water often symbolizes clarity and the natural state of our minds. Wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is a worldview from Japan that finds beauty in the world's imperfect, transient, and incomplete aspects. Hiroshi introduces this concept to Evelyn while repairing a broken canoe paddle, teaching her that imperfections can be beautiful. Wabi-sabi not only represents an aesthetic but also encapsulates a broader way of looking at the world, one that finds harmony in natural cycles, simplicity, and asymmetry. Deeper dive. Wabi-sabi goes beyond mere acceptance of imperfection. It celebrates it. Hiroshi's patched-up fishing net and the weathered canoe are embodiments of this aesthetic. Wabi-sabi reminds us of the beauty of impermanence and imperfection in a world striving for flawlessness. Symbolism. The broken canoe paddle that Hiroshi and Evelyn's repair together symbolizes the concept of kintsugi, where broken objects are not something to hide but to display with pride. The art of bonsai. Bonsai, the art of cultivating miniature trees, is a metaphor for the balance of control and natural growth, a concept that profoundly resonates with Evelyn, a scientist. Bonsai requires a profound understanding of the tree's natural form and inherent characteristics, reflecting Hiroshi's lesson about letting things grow according to their intrinsic nature. Deeper dive. Bonsai is not just horticulture but a philosophical endeavor reflecting the relationship between man and nature. It represents an ideal of harmony, balance, and simple beauty, which Evelyn learns to incorporate into her personal and professional life. Symbolism. The miniature tree represents the essence of life confined yet beautifully maintained in a limited space, akin to a scientific formula that captures the complexities of the universe. Indra's net. The concept of Indra's net, although originally Indian, has been significant in East Asian Buddhism, which includes Japanese Buddhism. It portrays the interconnectedness of all things and serves as a symbolic fusion point between Eastern philosophy and Evelyn's work in quantum mechanics. Deeper dive. Indra's net reflects the interconnectedness of all things, resembling a giant net where every intersection has a jewel that reflects all other jewels. Hiroshi teaches Evelyn this through their fishing, conveying how even a single action can ripple through the universe. Symbolism. Each fish caught and released in the story represents a single node in Indra's net, a part of a whole that reflects the entire universe. The rituals and symbols. In presenting Hiroshi's fishing practices and rituals, the story hints at the Japanese value of kata, or form. When done mindfully and with a prescribed form, every action transforms into a meditative act, whether making tea, drawing an archer's bow, or casting a fishing net. Deeper dive. In Japanese culture, rituals convert ordinary actions into extraordinary activities filled with intention. Hiroshi's meticulously prepared bait and careful selection of fishing spots are akin to the ritualistic practices in traditional Japanese tea ceremonies or martial arts forms. Symbolism. Each knot in Hiroshi's fishing net is a symbolic act, an affirmation of his interconnected relationship with nature. Seasonality and natural cycles. The story subtly captures the Japanese respect for natural cycles and the seasons, reflected in their cultural practices like hanami, cherry blossom viewing, and tsukimi, moon viewing festivals. Evelyn's evolving relationship with Hiroshi and her personal growth unfold alongside seasonal changes in the river's surroundings, tapping into the Japanese essence of natural beauty and impermanence. Deeper dive. Japan's cultural and religious practices are closely tied to the seasons. Hiroshi's lessons adapt to the ebb and flow of nature, much like Japanese arts and festivals adjust according to the seasons. Symbolism. The cherry blossoms seen in one of their meetings symbolize the fleeting nature of life, a popular metaphor in Japanese culture. Harmonious coexistence. Lastly, the narrative's wa, or harmony concept is omnipresent. Through Hiroshi's teachings, Evelyn balances her scientific rigor with philosophical pondering, embodying the harmonious coexistence of contrasting ideas, a central tenet in Japanese culture. Deeper dive. Wa is a social and aesthetic principle that values harmony and community spirit. Evelyn's transformation embodies this as she learns to integrate her scientific mind with a philosophical soul. Symbolism. The harmonious coexistence of the river, the fish, and the humans is a living example of Wa in action, illustrating how different entities can coexist in a shared ecosystem. In unraveling these elements, one can't help but be captivated by the nuanced richness of Japanese culture and its philosophical depths. It brings a universal resonance to Evelyn's journey, transcending her Western scientific background to touch the eternal wisdom of the East. This captivating story is a beautiful gateway to understanding Japan's traditions, values, and essence. I hope you enjoyed it.